This huge turnout shows that the government's crackdown is not working. Despite massive arrests in the past weeks, more people have gathered to demand an end to police violence and ask those detained to be released. What started as a local election protest has turned now into a broader movement.
I'm here to show that I'm tired of the fascism of Moscow government against its own people.
Alexander SOLOVYEV is the only opposition candidate who tried to run in the Moscow election who is not in detention, at least not at the moment. Before the rally, we could only meet him at a public square because he's avoiding arrest by not going home. He had been detained for 8 days after the previous protest.
All the authoritarian regimes collapse just because of their actions like this, because they do everything vice versa. They suppress, they crack down, and they try to stop the spread of information. They try to stop something inevitable, something that you cannot stop. They try to stop time, they try to stop progress.
The detention of opposition leaders like Ilya Yashin and Alexei Navalny have not deterred people from taking to the streets. At the authorized rally, protesters were urged to take part in another unauthorized rally. And that's where police started to detain people.
And again, part of the center of Moscow is under a lockdown. People are being detained for peacefully marching here through the city center. It was an unauthorized protest. People are being brought in one by one, dragged over the floor, detained, sometimes with quite a lot of force. People have been screaming and resisting, and they're all being brought into this bus.
While Vladimir Putin is celebrating his 20 years in power, analysts say more Russians want their voices to be heard.
The citizens are demonstrating something brand new, a new way of interacting during these protests and, importantly, their persistency. It's not valued enough, but for a political process like this, it's the key factor.
So far, the authorities have not backed down, although less people were detained than during previous weeks. But with tens of thousands on the street and more protests expected, pressure will only grow. Vaessen, Al Jazeera, Moscow.